Well, hello everyone, here we are. It started, the MrWarrenHayes G1 Climax 33 coverage, starting today, right now, right here, right before your eyes and ears, I guess, here on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes or on your favorite podcast application. The G1 July 15 started today. Night one is in the books, and that means that this is what I'm doing moving forward here. As mentioned, as promised, I'm going to do some daily coverage of the G1 Climax. Not unlike what I've been doing in the past couple of years. Just to rehash this one final time, where I wasn't doing exactly daily coverage. I was combining two nights into one thing. But this year I'm feeling feisty. I'm feeling I'm feeling it in my bones. I'm like, yeah, the G1 rules again. Like, this one is going to be special. We're out of the pandemic. The last year's weird one is a thing of the past. Now this year, I feel we got a lot of meat on the bone. So I'm like, why don't I give it a shot? Now I am leaving myself completely the opportunity to tap out and be like, look, tonight or today I'm going to combine two into one or whatever. That could happen, but I want you to rest assured that I will do my very best to bring you daily one-on-one coverage of every night of the G1 Climax 33. And why wouldn't you? It's the best tournament in pro wrestling every year. Why wouldn't we get into it? Why not? And I guess I should say before moving forward, before going forward any more than we have already, I would like you to leave a like on this video on YouTube, as well as subscribe to the MrWarrenHayes Show channel if you don't want to miss a thing. This is all going to be available in a nice handy playlist on top of that. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, well, again, you can follow and subscribe there, but also, a little 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, a little 5-star rating on Spotify. Those things are really useful, help grow the channel, and I would appreciate it a great deal. So, before we actually get into talking about stuff, maybe it's also a good thing to underscore that I'm going to have spoilers here. There's going to be spoilers throughout the entire thing. So if this is if you're just looking for, overall thoughts and whatnot, this might not be it. We're getting into the results. We're talking about things that happened. This is not a spoiler-free recap. So, you might, and that's okay. I prefer that if that's what you're looking for, that you just tune out right now and you're like, hey, thank you, WarrenHayes, for letting me know and not allowing, myself be spoiled. I appreciate it, Warren. You're a cool guy. All right, so let's just get right to it then. We'll start by breaking down the A block action. Chase Owens defeated Gabriel Kidd, and look, the match in and about itself, like the official bell time, according to Cage Match at the very least, 2 minutes 55 seconds. But it was a lot longer than this because Gabe Kidd ran out during Chase Owens' introduction and blindsided him with a chair to the back of the neck. Well, the edge, not exactly a chair shot, more like spearing him with the edge, just to make sure. And listen, Gabe Kidd completely loses it. Fights right into the crowd, and he's completely unhinged. Like, Kidd is completely out of control, taking the railing apart and like violently and throwing railing around and tossing chairs around right into the audience. The house announcer having to tell the audience and get out of the way, move, and he's throwing chairs around. He's like I said, dismantling the guardrail. He even strangles Chase Owens with an umbrella that was clearly used by someone from the audience. Commentary really puts over how reckless he is. There's a bunch of things that he in this sequence here that in AEW would have had to get a lot of approvals for. Came with a really big laundry list. That's a joke anyway. But they go, look. Gabriel Kidd even goes back up the ramp and cannonball dives off the stage onto the floor, onto Chase Owens. Just insane stuff. Finally, we get the match starting. And Chase Owens lands the Marvel Special. We get a Brainbuster by Kid, half and half, and C-Trigger by Chase Owens, followed up by the Package Pile Driver. So he was able to stand tall here. So the stories here that we're saying, look, Gabriel Kidd, is continuing this completely unhinged, unfettered personality that he's developed for himself. I talked about it on the podcast earlier this week. If this is a reflection of, how, unfortunately his mental state had landed him into, not that long ago, maybe over a year ago. And he's playing off of that moving forward. I mean, that's just good pro wrestling, and it's very interesting. And right now he's one of the most compelling personalities to come out of this new Bullet Club. I'm enjoying everything he's doing. Right now, you're thinking Gabe Kidd is coming out. Oh shit, something is about to happen. And this is what was needed, especially after the first match. This was the second match of the night. And we needed something like this to sort of get the energy levels up, to add to the level of unpredictability that permeates this entire G1 as well. I think this is one of the themes. The angle was really fun because on top of that, don't forget, Chase Owens is still Bullet Club, and Gabe Kidd comes in, and treats him like he's not. And Chase, after the match, he got on Kevin Kelly's microphone and he said, "Look, we got things to talk about. I don't know what's going on here, but I survived 3 eras," is what he said. I survived 3 eras. You kind of have to wonder what David Finlay has to think about all of this. What does he think about all of this? One of his guys being beaten by Chase Owens. You have to wonder. Anyway, the match itself was short and nothing to write home about, but I love the angle. I thought this was great. Continued to add to Gabriel Kidd's personality. Ren Narita and Shota Umino went to a 20-minute time limit draw. This was the first of the Reiwa Three Musketeers matches. I should say that we're getting within Block A, and this ruled. I thought this was fantastic. There was lots of great work here, and I especially thought that Shota Umino showed up on this one. And look, you guys and gals and non-binary pals know that I've been a little iffy on Shota in 2023. Wasn't quite sure, but I feel like ever since that match with Tetsuya Naito, I feel like he's been on an upward trajectory. He hasn't been tearing the house down, but I don't think he's been slipping as much. I think being surrounded by some of the best wrestlers on the planet, his beef with Okada, his friendship with Mox, and working with these people is helping him find his footing more. And I thought it was extremely evident in this match. I thought he was, even his entrance felt much more passionate than passive, which is something that I always thought was kind of weird. He felt electric. He felt alive. And I can't say the same thing about Ren Narita. And I like Ren Narita, but I don't think he's on Shota's level. I think as it stands right now, on July 15, as I'm recording this, he is the outlier of the Reiwa Three Musketeers. He had a good little showing here, but he was outshined by Shota. And it's about time that Shota gets into this groove because that's his thing. What did Charlton say? He fights like Moxley. He fights like Moxley. He has showmanship like Tanahashi, and he talks like Naito. Well, look, if you have the ingredients of arguably three of the greatest to ever do it, let's start seeing it, pal. But I thought the match overall, I thought it ruled We got all sorts of moves in here. Northern Lights suplexes and Narita playing the submission game. Doing that Boston Crab cloverleaf deal that he does. Exploder suplexes, German suplexes, strikes. This started off with a big strike exchange between both to start. And then people are going to... I hope people are not still wondering whether or not New Japan putting out the Three Musketeers stuff was a mistake. Oh, it backfired. This didn't fucking backfire. And you saw it in this match. I told y'all on the podcast this week that it didn't backfire. We saw it in this match here. The first match with two of the three out there, and they just want to kill each other. This match ruled. Umino gets the ignition in. Narita kicks out of the pin attempt. Narita fights back with the Cobra twist. We got the countdowns. We got 30 seconds in. We got German suplexes. They go to time. And, I'm okay with the idea of a draw here. I'm already thinking, are the Musketeers going to draw between the three of them? Which could be a thing. But to any degree here, Chris Charlton was already putting over the history that they had as Young Lions, saying that there was always bad blood between the two. And now they're continuing this on their main run, I guess. This is pure New Japan storytelling in this regard, where they have two stars that they clearly like, and they're ready to protect enough and protect their feud, protect their animosity to the point of saying this first match here out the gate, you guys are going to draw, and we'll be able to play off of this in the future. This is the kind of storytelling New Japan does, and I'm in for it. I'm all here. Anyway, so they both get a point out of this one. Yota Tsuji versus Kaito Kiyomiya, where the Noah former GHC champion got the win. What a match. This also fucking ruled. Kiyomiya comes in and he's doing his intro, and he's on the floor and he's got his back turned to the ring and he's playing up to the crowd, and Tsuji just fucking dives on him. That enormous, massive human, the gene blast, blasts his genes. I don't know, that's not what he did. He didn't do that. But he went right after him, and he's manhandling Kaito Kiyomiya, who eventually gets some strikes in that end up stinging Tsuji. And Kaito does his Muto tribute spots and then works the knee, running head scissors, shoulder tackle. He works the knee, but then we get a running head scissors by Yota Tsuji, which got me out of my seat. I was like, look at this guy. Shoulder tackle and a power slam. Figure four by Kiyomiya, German with a bridge. He does an overhead throw on Tsuji, which is no small feat, but speaking of feet, Tsuji lands right on his, and he delivers a fantastic headbutt that just destroys Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya fights back, gets a tiger suplex, a spinning driver, and the Shining Wizard for the win. This was very good. This was very, very good. It ruled. Giving Kiyomiya the win clearly establishes him as competition, especially against Yota Tsuji, where you're like, well, this is one of the Three Musketeers, right? This is one of the three guys. But he's coming in, he's saying, Kiyomiya comes in, he's like, no, he's coming in, getting the win off of one of the Three Musketeers, which most people seem to agree is the more compelling of the three, the more finished product of the three. The two others drew. So are we saying here that Kiyomiya is, above these other guys? Maybe. Because he just beat the third guy. Now, in New Japan G1 booking style, this could also spell disaster for Kiyomiya, because there is a very verified long history of those winning their first match don't win the G1. But then again, we're looking for first and second to head off to the playoffs. So it's not necessarily a question of winning the block. It's you can come in second. So we'll see what happens. I still think Kiyomiya is going to move on to the playoffs, especially if these Musketeer dudes start going around pulling draws on each other. And Tsuji, man, he's special. Look, there's nothing I can, legitimately add here that would come across as, unique analysis here. But his offense here was so sharp and awesome and impactful. Like, this guy is a polished pro wrestler. He looks good, an absolute beast of a man. And at some point, I think he's hulking up after a move, right? He's on the floor, or he's not hulking up, but he's regaining his composure. And he finds the hot camera, and he looks right into it, and he gives that smile, that enormous Attack on Titan smile. And he's looking straight into the camera, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy gets it. This guy absolutely gets it. So he loses his first match, but this doesn't matter. The night one can be an indicator of things, and I think you should be more worried about people who win their first match on night one than those who don't. And regardless of what happens in this G1, Yota Tsuji is fine. Yota Tsuji is absolutely fine. But this match ruled. I thought it was fantastic. And then we main evented with the A block match of SANADA versus Hikuleo. This was fine. Hikuleo attacks before the bell. I don't have many thoughts on this match. Hikuleo landed the final sequence was pretty good. Hikuleo landed a last ride, but SANADA pulled out the deadfall for the win. And we didn't need this match to be anything more than what it was. Cage match puts it at 10 minutes and 16 seconds. So one of the shortest matches of the night, if you're counting the Chase Owens Gabe Kidd bell to bell. It is the second shortest match of the night, and that was your main event. That was your champion. Look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. SANADA benefits from having short matches. I don't think he's a long match player. I think he revels in the shorter ones. I think he's better in that position. So this works for him. I don't think this match was great. Far from it. I thought it was fine. And I'm waffling between was this good. Hikuleo, I'll give you this for this match. Hikuleo looked more fired up and more into this than any other time I've seen him recently in New Japan. Not even the Jay White match. I felt he had this oomph to him. And SANADA was fine. He hit his, he did his Muto tribute spots as well. We're good. He hit it, he played the hits, but I was actually worried that they were going to go, that they were going to try to stretch this past the 15-minute mark, and I was like, how are you going to get anything compelling out of Hikuleo? But we didn't need to worry about that. So a fine main event, didn't tear down the house or anything, but it was fine. So again, if we break down the standings once more, SANADA, Kiyomiya, Owens all tied at 2 points. Shota, Umino, and Ren Narita both drew, so they have 1 point each. Tsuji, Hikuleo, Gabriel Kidd rounding out the bottom at 0. I told you on Tuesday that this would be the most interesting block. I told you this, and we're already there because we've got draws already. We've got Yota Tsuji, who's at 0. We've got Kiyomiya, who scored his first win, and a lot of people were telling me, Warren, there's no way Yota Tsuji's losing this. And I'm like, I don't know, because unpredictability is the theme of this G1 this year, and I feel we're already off to that start. So that was Block A for Night 1. All right, let's get into Block B. Standings right now. Kazuchika Okada, YOSHI-HASHI, Taichi, Tanga Loa all scored 2 points. But then Kenta, Great-O-Khan, Will Ospreay, and El Phantasmo all rounding out the bottom. First match we're going to talk about is El Phantasmo versus YOSHI-HASHI, where YOSHI-HASHI got his first 2 points. This was the opening match of the entire G1 this year. I thought it was okay. The work was good. Everything was there, but it lacked a little something. It lacked some spark. Was this maybe due to the crowd in Sapporo not being all that great? Because I found this crowd tonight to be very hard. I thought they were very hard. It was difficult for them to get into the show, to get going. It took them a while, El Phantasmo did his very best in this match to get the crowd into it. Even doing some sting shouts, before doing his stinger splash, which he wasn't able to complete, but. I don't have many thoughts about this match. Again, I thought it was fine, well worked, lacked a spark. I liked the ending. I thought the Springboard Thunder Kiss 86 was pretty cool because commentary said that, I don't know if this was accurate, but YOSHI-HASHI seemed out of position to eat a Thunder Kiss 86 off of the top turnbuckle, which is what we usually do. When I say we, I mean ELP. So ELP, if that's the case, and ELP decided to springboard it instead, first of all, that's awesome. Second of all, that's great. That's fantastic thinking on his feet at the same time. Just great stuff. Great stuff overall on that part. But we get some fighting spirit towards the end. Crucifix bomb for YOSHI-HASHI gets the win. I got nothing more really to add to this. I'm still expecting some. We got to get some great matches out of ELP now. I am on great match El Phantasmo great match watch. That's what I'm on right now. That's what I'm looking for. Anyway, so that was the opener. Then we got Tanga Loa defeating KENTA. Of course, this was the first match Tanga Loa had upon returning from injury, so he's right back in there. As Andrew Rich pointed out in the Voices of Wrestling Slack, he is now pulling a tribute to Bad Luck Fale by wrestling in a t-shirt and camo pants. Someone has to do it, I guess. I didn't like this match. I thought it was kind of slow. I wouldn't say it was bad. I don't think it was a bad match, but I think it kind of stunk. I don't think it was good. I have nothing really to add here. And look, again, this is what you have to expect out of the KENTA matches, right? And I think it kind of stinks that Tanga Loa got saddled on his return match with KENTA. The match was so placed and was meant to focus on the knee. I think that's the story they'll probably be talking about for Tanga Loa throughout the tournament. KENTA was focused on his surgically repaired knee. So anyway, no big surprise that TL won, but KENTA is what it is at this point. And we had Kazuchika Okada defeating the Great Okan. I enjoyed the beginning of this match where Great Okan is like, I'm going to completely throw you off your game and bring in my amateur background. Why did I block on that? That's what he was. So that's what he was pulling off here, trying to get Okada off his feet, tie him up again. Maybe using some strategy that you saw Brian Danielson use at Forbidden Door as well. So that could be a thing. We get a gut wrench suplex by Great Okan, and I love myself a good gut wrench suplex. Okada does a draping DDT on Great Okan on the floor. We get the hits. We get a Rainmaker into the claw by Great Okan and the claw suplex, which I think is great. But 15 minutes in, we get a Rainmaker. Good night. This was a strong match. Like I said, maybe a little dry. But good stuff. Well done, well put together. Okada just celebrated briefly in the ring, and he walked back, and I don't know if he was too thrilled with his performance or the performance of the match here, but it is what it is. And then we had Taichi defeating Will Ospreay. So we get a strike exchange to start. And then this pivots onto the floor, over the barricades, deep into the arena. And Will just goes all Gabriel Kidd on Taichi. You better get that out of your system, Will, if you're heading to AEW. I'm just playing. The story of the match here, Taichi's a hometown boy here in Hokkaido. He's a hometown boy. So Will is full on heel here. He's like, oh, this is the guy you want, all right? And there's even a moment, where they get back into the ring after the beatdown, and he being Will Irish whips Taichi, and Taichi just collapses. So Will goes to the floor, grabs the timekeeper's time tracker. Why am I bad with words today? And he gets the timer, and he looks at it and he goes, look, 6 minutes. If this guy's already winded, I'm going to make him suffer for 20. And that's the problem that Will runs into in the match, because then at one point, because Will is absolutely dominating Taichi, and Taichi hits one move. He hits a kick to the side of the head, which Will then sells like he punctured his eardrum, right? His equilibrium is completely thrown. And he sells this for a good part of the match. And then when Will starts getting his footing back, when he's not selling as much and he's sort of back on his feet, and commentary's doing a good job on top of it, even equating it to the beating. This might be a little more sensitive because of the beating he took at the hands of Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door. We're connecting a lot of dots here. It's making it dramatic. I'm like, once we're done with all of this, and Will gets back on his feet, he's like, I got to put this guy away now. Like, there's no more fooling around. There's no more, Billy Goat walking around being all cocky. He's like, no, now I got to put him away. Now he starts throwing hidden blades and whatnot. But Taichi had time to regain his composure, got some time to breathe, regain some energy. Taichi tries to mount some offense, but Will Ospreay still all over him. But Taichi lands a super dangerous suplex, an axe bomber, crowd is on their feet, Black Mephisto gets the win. This is how you do local babyface matches. This is how you do it right here. It was, and at the same time, in the meantime, while protecting one of your top guys, not making him look like a complete schlub. Because because the thing here, the argument you could have in kayfabe is, if Will Ospreay hadn't got the leg to the ear, to the side of the head, would this match have ended this way? Probably not, because he was in complete dominant control. But then you can also say, well, if Will Ospreay had not been a dick to start the match, maybe he would have, maybe it wouldn't have gone maybe he would have ended it quicker. Anyway, don't call this an upset. Because Chris Charlton ran through everyone that Taichi has beaten in G1 situations. This was a very good match. With, like I said, Will Ospreay playing the shit heel, the shit local heel, making sure that Taichi gets the crowd reaction that he needs. Toying with Taichi throughout the match, and then people getting really happy, really glad that Ospreay can't find his balance. I loved this match. I thought it was great. There was no surprise here with Taichi and Will Ospreay. No big shock that this match was really good, and that wraps it up for Block B tonight. So overall, I would say a good first night. Not anything mind-blowing, not anything like you're like, whoa, like top to bottom, just awesome stuff. Because there were some low moments, but the good stuff shines enough to absolutely outweigh the bad. Because it really wasn't like outside of KENTA Tanga Loa, which really was a low point. I think everything else was fine to great. And if you really want to just like focus on what was really, really good, what's worth your time kind of thing, the Narita Umino time limit draw is absolutely worth it. I would also absolutely recommend Yota Sushi versus Kaito Kiyomiya and Taichi versus Will Ospreay. Those are my 3 night 1 recommendations. Now, this leads us into tomorrow, which again will be taking place in Sapporo. Where we'll be having the first action for the C and D blocks. C block will be Tomohiro Ishii versus David Finlay. Mikey Nichols versus Aaron Henare. By the way, keep an eye out on Aaron Henare tomorrow. He did not wear a face covering at the press conference just for shits and giggles. We're also going to get Shingo Takagi versus Eddie Kingston. I cannot fucking wait for this. This is going to be a match that is going to determine what kind of... It's going to give not determine, but it's going to give the direction for Eddie's own personal G1. Not necessarily his win-loss record, but how he's going to approach it. This is going to give a good indication of how it's going to go. And then we'll also have Tama Tonga versus Evil. Good gravy. And as for the D block, we're going to have Hiroki Goto versus Toru Yano. Shane Haste versus Alec Coughlin. Look, I'm going to talk about Alex Coughlin probably more tomorrow, but if you have not seen his promo from the press conference, you want to talk about Warren, recommend me things to watch. This is absolutely something you absolutely have to watch. But we'll absolutely also, since there's a lot of absolutes here, we're going to talk about this absolutely tomorrow on the review. And I absolutely expect Alex Coughlin to win. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. I think is always a good and entertaining pairing. And the main event is going to be Tetsuya Naito versus Jeff Cobb. So there you have it. So hope you enjoyed this first opening salvo of my coverage of the G1. We'll be back tomorrow for episode number 2, for night 2, to cover the following proceedings. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this, leave a like on YouTube, subscribe, why don't you? And leave a 5-star review, 5-star rating on your podcast application of choice. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. G1 season is here, baby! I'll see you next time.